Hey y'all, it's LovePower Wednesday. It's your girl Carmen. Super blessed and honored to have you join the live stream tonight. So I'll give it a minute for folks to be notified that I'm live and to hop on. Hey Jewel, how are you? Let me silence my cell phone for a second just so I can stop all that coming in. So, welcome, Love Power Wednesday, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank y'all for joining in. I pray you can hear and see. If you are joining me on Facebook, just know I'm streaming live from StreamYard, and so you need to let StreamYard have permission. So I can't see any comments you make live unless you give StreamYard permission for me to see those comments. So, Love Power Wednesday. If you see tonight's topic says keep going. That's it. It's a simple message tonight. And I try to keep these messages down to about 30 minutes or less. And I think tonight will be or less. But I just want to encourage you to keep going. Keep going. Um, Life happens. This. So let me back up and tell you one, welcome to the all just joining. This is Carmen, the Love Power Coach, Faith and Empowerment Coach, inspirational speaker, really wanting to see God's people live out the full expression of God in their life. I think that's what the world needs most. I think we need to be really connected to God, who is our source, who is our creator, who knows everything that he ordained and designed us to do, be, and have in our earthly realm. And if I can help you all connect to that source, God, so you can get the downloads you need, so you can show up fully in who God called you to be and in the things and areas in life that God has called you to do and be in, the world will be amazing. And I believe we would experience heaven on earth. When Jesus prays the model prayer, we call it the Lord's Prayer, and that which is really not the Lord's praying, it's the model prayer, but we call it the Lord's Prayer. But he says, give us, forgot what I'm saying, but basically, as it is in heaven, it should be on earth. And so we are a part of that process. God has chosen to use his created beings, people, humans, to bring heaven to earth. And a part of that is walking in your purpose, walking in the divine plan God has for you. And that is a part of my mission and my call on my life to help people discover, develop, and deploy that purpose out into the world. I say this often that I believe we all have the same purpose. It is to find the gifts that we've been given and then to use them to bring God glory and to help other people. And so, again, my charge from God is clearly to teach his word, to teach people, help people connect to him in a real and personal way. And in doing so, that they would open up their lives to the amazing things that God has for them. So tonight, the message is about keep going. And this is Love Power Wednesdays. And the love and love power is God. It is the foundation, the root for the power in which we're able to show up in the world. Love is a powerful force. And when you connect to that force, that source, God, amazing things can happen. And so that we're operating out of love and not fear is important. And so that's why it is love power. And then power is a 5-part acronym. P stands for personal leadership. It's on you. You got to show up and do the work. You got to show up to your life. You can't do a proxy. Can't send anybody to substitute for you. You have to do this work. The O in power is obedience, being obedient to the voice of God in your life, being obedient to the spiritual laws that God has set in place so that you can experience the fullness of those in your life. And the W in power is wealth mindset. It is an abundance mindset. It's a mindset that understands the kingdom principles around abundance, who understands that wealth is our birthright, that we are not to live beneath or below who God called us to be, that there's always greater and more for us to do so that we can serve greater and more people. And then the E in power is energy management. It is all about like making sure you're taking time out for yourself, making sure you're restoring and replenishing the energy, guarding your energy, and eating healthy things, moving your body so you can have energy. All of that is under E. And the resilient R is the resilience. It's how do you bounce back? Because I don't care how dedicated you are to the things God has called you to do. I don't care how spiritual you are, how many hours a day you pray, whatever it is, life is going to happen to all of us where we get sometimes blindsided by things, or we get the wind knocked out of us by situations, friendships, betrayal, relationships, whatever it is, loss of job, loss of a loved one, whatever it is, life hits us all. And being able to come back from that. So you may get knocked down. The key is that you don't stay there, right? There used to be a time where certain things would happen in my life and I would wallow in it, and it would take me days, weeks sometimes to get over it, to get beyond it. But thank God for the growth, the development, the work that I've done, that when I get knocked down, and it's not if, but when, because we all, again, life hits us all. When it happens, I don't have to stay there. I don't stay there like I used to. I don't wallow in it. I don't um, um, pitch my tent, if you will, using scriptural terms, but I don't build an altar there. I get up, right? And so that's what resilience is all about. So today's message really is under the R, the resilience of love power, and I titled this topic for tonight, "Keep Going." It is We are at the end of July, so just over the midway point of our year, and a lot of us have lost steam. A lot of us have not been fully operating in the things that we said we were going to do in January, myself included. There's some things that, I was wanting to get done by the first half of this year, and I've started on some things, but they haven't fully been completed. And so, understanding that we have to keep going, we cannot wallow in distraction, or we can't be distracted when when things come our way. We must stay focused. We can't wallow in self pity and feeling sorry for ourselves because this person said they were going to do it something for us and they didn't. Somebody didn't show up for us the way they said they were going to. Um, the deal that we thought was going to be the breakthrough for our life didn't happen. So now we're wallowing in the sorrow of that. And I want to come and shake you, and say, get up and keep going. Because here is the thing, this is what I know to be true, that the race is not given to the swift, but to the one who endures. And I think that's Ecclesiastes 9:11, somewhere around there. So, but it is to the one who endures. And it's very easy for us to get discouraged and fall off. And I want to encourage you to keep going. The breakthrough, the thing you're looking to happen in your life, the promotion, the relationship, whatever it is you've been seeking or working towards, and it feels like you're in quicksand or in thick mud and trying to put one foot in front of the other, and it just feels like, oh my goodness, like you're just dredging through quicksand. Just know that even if it's just a little bit, you got to keep going. I think it's a quote, I probably jack it up, but by Martin Luther King, where he talks about, like, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Whatever you do, like, you got to keep moving forward. And it's amazing the little shifts that you make, how they add up over time, the consistency in showing up, how it adds up over time. And so it won't be instant, but it will be inevitable. If I quote Lisa Nichols, right? It won't be instant, but it will be inevitable if you keep going, if you don't give up, if you don't faint, right? As scripture tells us that we should not be weary in well doing. And it doesn't mean that we won't get tired. It doesn't mean we won't get stressed. It doesn't mean we don't need a vacation. It doesn't mean we don't need a timeout. But you got to know that you got to stay in it and stay with it, especially if it's a dream and a vision that God has given you. God will give the provision. And we know that, again, it's not like a snap of the finger. Some of this we got to work out. Like, it is a process. And it's not even a process in us attaining the thing, because if God said it belongs to us, We already have it. It's ours. So it's already done. That's a done deal. You're going to get it if you don't quit. And so the thing about it is we have to stay diligent and consistent in doing the work. Oftentimes the person we are, when we seek God about a thing, or when God gives us the vision for something, he has to develop us to be the person that is ready to receive it. Does that make sense? So there are things we ask God for that are beyond where we are now, and God knows that she's gonna have to develop a little bit. Like her character is gonna have to come up a bit. Her consistency, her diligence is gonna have to come up a little bit. Her discipline, right, in order to maintain this thing that she's asked me for. It's already hers. It's already God's will for you. It's already God's plan for you. He put the desire in your heart, so it is yours. It is a done deal. But now becomes the preparation for it, the process so that you can receive it. I have a training that I do called RPM, and it's revelation, preparation, manifestation. That's how it happens. You get the revelation, right? And sometimes you don't even get the full revelation, you get a piece. You get the revelation, and then you go through a season of preparation and then manifestation. And that season of preparation, for some things it's longer, for other things it's quick. It is, quick. But it all is about you listening to the voice of God, being obedient. That's that O in power, being obedient to the things of God, being obedient to the principles of the spiritual laws that He's put in place, so that you can really use those to your advantage and really move forward in what He's called us to do and called for you to do. So I want to just encourage you to keep going. Your victory, your breakthrough, the vision, the job, the relationship, the marriage, the car, the home, the vacations, the family, the whatever it is that you're praying for God for, the peace. Actually, those things like peace and joy, they're already yours. That's a whole nother teaching, but they are already yours. You don't have to wait for those. Like, you just have to believe for those, and it's already yours. And operate in that vein already. It is a decision. Yeah. So you don't have to wait weeks and weeks for joy to manifest. You decide when joy comes in the morning, right? It says weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You decide when the morning happens. And that's a whole nother teaching. But those other things that you're praying to God to show up in your life, to show you in your life, um, there's a season of preparation for that. And that's where you may be right now, where you are like, I am doing the things and it just does not seem like anything's happening. And I want to remind you that a lot of things happen at the seed level that we don't see at the surface level. Let me say that again. There are a lot of things that happen at the seed level that we can't see at the surface level. So know that the seeds and the desires, the seed of desire that God has placed in your heart for certain things in your life, there may be some things going on at the seed level that you may can't see right now in your life. And that's okay. But you need to know, again, it's not instant, but it's inevitable if you stay the course, if you continue on in the things that God has called you to do. And so I think about the bamboo seed roots. And so you put those in, and it takes years for those things to kind of get root and take root. But when they sprout exponentially in a short period of time. And so I'm believing that for you, that there's some seed stuff that's happening, and there's some roots that need to take place, so that when you sprout up, when the thing you've been seeking God for, when it comes, you'll have the foundation, the anchor you need to sustain it, to continue to grow it. And we know that when if we continue with the tree analogy, those roots they get the nutrients, right? They help provide nutrient to the fruit that will come from that tree. And so that's why your roots got to be deep. And that's why for some of us, the vision that God has called for us, you can't have shallow roots. And so it's going to take digging deeper. It's going to take longer sometimes the process for the seed to sprout. But know that there are processes happening in the seed that is allowing it to grow, so that it's a healthy seed, so that your fruit is healthy, so that there will be enough fruit for you and others. You got to also remember that God is orchestrating things not just for us, but others as well, ultimately for his glory. Let's just say that you know, ultimately it is for God's glory. And so what we may see as tragedy or God moving slowly or difficult things happening in our life, just know that that there's a plan with all of that. And in that plan, right, it's gonna all work together for your good. Like that Romans 8:28 is a scripture that is so foundational to my belief that when life happens and difficult things happen, I just that's I can go back quickly there. But again, that was a process I had to develop myself to get to that place. As I said in the beginning, there were times when life would happen or things wouldn't go my way, and I'd be in that thing for days, wallowing in sorrow, weeks even, right? Upset, mad, angry, whatever that emotion is around the issue. And I've learned like to really embody, not just believe, but embody, right? Like it is a part of my fiber of being Romans 8:28 that yep, even that. Like when stuff happens and I'm like, it's gonna work for my good. Yep, even that. Even that. Yep, even that. Even that. Right? Even the broken relationship, even the broken friendship, even times of of not having the resources I thought I needed for certain things. So even that, right? Even just job stuff, even that, not getting a promotion, even that, right? All of these things, that needs to be your mantra, even that. And so you can keep going because, again, it is God's plan for you. It is inevitable that it will come to pass, but you must not stop. God has already worked the thing out, God has already done it because God is not confined by a 24-hour chronological time. We as human beings, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience, but we as humans, we we are confined by time. I can't jump into next week. Although my mama used to say she could slap me in the next week. Sometimes I wonder, like, can that really happen? Right? I don't know about you if you had your parents ever say that, right? That they can slap you in the next week. Sometimes I'm like, can you slap me in the next week so I can go and get that check that's supposed to be coming? But anyway, I'm joking. But we don't have the ability to go in time, forward in time and back in time and all that stuff. God does. God literally sits on time. So when we say God is an on time God, literally he's on time, literally above time, not even confined by a 24-hour, 7-day a week cycle. That's not what God is confined by. And so what that does for me is it reminds me that literally God has already gone ahead of me and orchestrated things in such a way so that by, I don't know, next Tuesday or 2 months from now, even, everything is going to work out. All I have to do is stay the course to get to that place, to get to that point in time. We call it kairos, right? An appointed time where the thing I prayed about and the thing that God has ordained for me, like they meet, like my time thing I prayed about and the time that I'm supposed to get it, they meet. It's the kairos time where it is ordained and divinely done. And again, remember, God is orchestrating things not just in our lives, but in the lives of other people. So especially if your breakthrough, if your vision, and it should really require your vision in particular should not just be about you. If it's big enough, it's going to require other people. It's not going to be just you making it happen. That's a small vision. And God don't deal in small visions. We serve an amazing, miraculous, big God who um, places within us huge and amazing desires that require us to connect with other people. So I want to encourage you to keep going because it will happen. Your Kairos moment, the moment in which you are able to um, see the manifestation, right? Or I talked about earlier, revelation, preparation, then manifestation, the RPMs of life. And so that RPM of life will allow, when you understand that concept, you're like, okay, I'm just being prepared. And so that ought to actually get you excited as well because in the preparation, right, that God is making it so that you will be able to take that thing that you've been praying about, seeking Him about, and actually have it without any sorrow, without any the depression or strain or struggle. You know how some people they pray for stuff and they like, oh, I want a new car, and they go out and get the car and they get ahead of God, or um, they don't remain kind of within the confines of where they are right now in that season, and it becomes a headache, like keeping up with insurance and paying the car note, and like the dream car that they thought that was going to be so amazing has become a burden. That's when you know you're out of timing. That's when you know you have jumped the gun. And so I want to encourage you to keep going, and the manifestation will happen. I can't tell you when. I'm not that kind of, how I'm not a prophet in that way, but I am prophetic in the sense that I know God's word, and God's word never returns void. And the race is not given to the swift, but it's given to the one who endures. And you shall reap if you faint not. So don't be weary in the things that God has called you to do. I know getting up every day, doing it over and over. Trust me, as a entrepreneur, business owner, there are things in my business that I don't necessarily enjoy doing, but I know I have to show up in those areas and show up so that I can see the fruit from that, so my clients can receive the fruit from that, so that I can be a better coach, a better speaker, somebody who can a better minister to really support people in their change, their breakthrough, their transformation. So just know I'm in here with you. Like there are days, you're just like, oh my gosh, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? And it feels like sometimes we keep going around this mountain. But God showed me, yeah, you may be going around this mountain, but you're going around the mountain at a higher level, right? So it may be an issue that you feel like you're confronted with all the time, but each time you do it, you are better equipped to deal with it. You don't stay there as long. It doesn't tear you down as much. So just know that you are growing. Give yourself the grace to grow, and allow God to do what God is doing in your life, and stay with it. Keep going, because, right, it may not be instant, but your breakthrough, your dreams, your desires will be manifested. It is inevitable. It will happen. Point blank, period. Exclamation point. Yeah. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for joining. Stay tuned. This in the month of August, I'll be announcing something. August is my birth month. So I always have a great time for the month of August. I celebrate the entire month. People ask me, when is your birthday? I'm like, August. And they're like, no, when is your birthday? I'm like, yeah, August, the whole month. And sometimes in September. My birthday is August 30th. It's the last few days, one of the last day before the last day of the month. And so sometimes, because it's at the end of the month, I slide into September a little bit and celebrate there too. So just know that, stay tuned though. I have some trainings that are coming forward that I am discounting deeply, for my birthday month, to just say thank you for joining. Thank you for being on this ride with me, this Love Power Life ride. And yeah, so stay tuned. I'll be announcing that next week at Love Power Wednesday. So come back, join me every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram for Love Power Wednesdays. Love you much. Have an amazing night. Good night now. Bye. Bye.